I'm Sophia, 27 years old and the eldest of two sisters raised by my amazing single mom. My dad passed away when I was very young, and my mom did an incredible job raising my sister and me on her own. I've always admired her strength and resilience. Lately, it seems like everyone around me is getting married. Wedding invitations have been flooding in, making me think more about the future, particularly with my boyfriend, Ryan. He's 3 years older than me, having just turned 30, and we've been together for 3 wonderful years. Ryan and I first met when he came to my office as a sales rep for a client company. Sparks flew instantly, and we've been inseparable since. Watching so many friends tie the knot made me curious about how Ryan felt about marriage, but I hesitated to bring it up. I didn't want to make him feel pressured, so I kept my thoughts to myself. He never brought it up either, leaving the topic untouched between us. That's why I was completely blindsided and elated when Ryan surprised me with a proposal during our third anniversary dinner at a charming little restaurant. "Sophia, will you marry me?" he asked, sliding a delicate ring onto my finger. I stared at him in shock, tears welling up in my eyes. "Are you sure you want me to be your wife?" "Of course," he said with a soft smile, "but only if you say yes." How could I say no to the man I loved? I nodded through my tears, and we celebrated the beautiful moment together. Soon after, we planned to visit my mom and share the happy news. Mom had met Ryan several times before during family dinners, so she was thrilled for us. Her joy was infectious, and for a while, Ryan and I dreamed of a bright, happy future together. But unfortunately, that bliss didn't last long. After sharing the news with my mom, we turned to Ryan's family. His parents, especially his mother, Eleanor, seemed welcoming at first. Eleanor perked up when Ryan mentioned my workplace, Orion Enterprises. It's a prominent company in the area, and I could see she was impressed. "Orion Enterprises, huh?" she said with a pleased nod. "That's a respected company. Good choice, Ryan." I hoped she would come to know me for who I was, beyond my job title. For now, I was relieved that the introductions went smoothly. Ryan and I decided to skip a formal wedding ceremony and proceed with a marriage registration after both families met. Following the registration, Eleanor suggested, "Why don't we have a family dinner to celebrate?" At dinner, Eleanor wasted no time getting to the point. "So, Sophia," she began with a disarming smile, "what do you like about Ryan? His education, or maybe his paycheck?" Her question caught me off guard, but I managed to reply, "I admire Ryan's education, but it's his character that truly drew me to him." "Oh sure, that's nice," she said, cutting me off before I could finish. "Well, I'm glad you understand Ryan's exceptional education. It's top-notch, isn't it?" Her tone was hard to miss. She wasn't just curious, she was testing me. She went on to ask about my university, and when I answered modestly, she dismissed it with thinly veiled sarcasm. "Mom, this is supposed to be a celebratory dinner," Ryan interjected, trying to diffuse the tension. I smiled at him gratefully, but Eleanor's words lingered, leaving me uneasy. About a month later, both families met again for a formal gathering at a picturesque lodge. I hoped this meeting would go better, but as soon as we arrived, Eleanor began her interrogation. "Oh, isn't your father joining us today?" she asked, barely waiting for everyone to be seated. "My husband passed away when my daughters were young," my mom answered calmly. "I raised them on my own. I didn't think it mattered for our marriage, so I didn't mention it." I added quickly, "Mom's an amazing woman, and I'm proud to have her as part of our family." Eleanor raised an eyebrow. "Oh my. I had no idea Ryan was marrying someone from a single-parent household. That must mean you grew up in less fortunate circumstances." My mom's expression didn't waver. "Yes, it wasn't always easy, but I made sure my daughters became capable and respectable women." Well, Eleanor continued, undeterred, "Children raised in such conditions often develop certain issues. Our family has a strong legacy, prestigious schools, high achievements. I do wonder if this will work out." Her words stung, but I refused to let her see it. Ryan, however, couldn't hide his frustration. "Mom, that's enough," he said firmly. "Sophia is more than worthy, and I won't let you belittle her." But Eleanor wasn't done. She turned to me with a sharp gaze. "Tell me honestly, Sophia, did you marry Ryan for his salary? I can't shake the feeling you're here for the wrong reasons." The tension in the room was palpable. "I think I'll just excuse myself now," Eleanor declared, her voice dripping with disdain. I don't care to breathe the same air as someone so far beneath us. Before anyone could react, she rose abruptly and left, ignoring Ryan's and everyone else's attempts to stop her. Well, since you both went through all this trouble arranging tonight, let's at least try to enjoy the meal, my mom, Linda said, her voice bright but hollow. Her attempt to lighten the mood fell flat. We finished the dinner in uncomfortable silence, and the gathering ended on an awkward note. After that night, neither family brought up the incident, and Ryan and I soon became so busy with our daily lives that the memory of that evening faded into the background. But, as it turned out, Eleanor wasn't done with me yet. One hectic afternoon at work, I was compiling urgent documents when the usual calm of the office chattered with a loud, angry voice. "Bring Sophia Klein out here. I know she's in this building." The receptionist froze, wide-eyed with shock. My stomach sank when I realized who the voice belonged to. Eleanor. Klein was my new last name, thanks to my marriage, and hearing it shouted like that filled me with dread. I hurried to the lobby and found Eleanor standing firm, her face twisted with fury. "There you are, you cunning woman," she bellowed. "Listen up, everyone. This woman is a fraud, both in marriage and in her education." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the office as my coworkers began to gather, their curious faces peering over desks and around corners. "Eleanor, what are you doing?" I asked, my voice barely steady. "Don't you dare address me like an equal," she snapped. "I'm here to make sure this sham of a marriage ends today." I turned to the receptionist. "It's okay, you can step away. I'll handle this." Reluctantly, the receptionist backed off, but in her place, a crowd of coworkers began to form, drawn to the commotion. "It's suspicious that someone like her works at such a prestigious company," Eleanor continued, pointing at me with contempt. "She's a fraud, and you're all fools to believe otherwise." I forced a smile, though my face burned with embarrassment. "I'm so sorry for the disturbance, everyone. This is my mother-in-law. Please return to your desks. I'll take care of it." The crowd hesitated, but slowly began to disperse, throwing me awkward, pitying looks. "I've told Ryan for years," Eleanor ranted. "Only someone from a top university is good enough for our family. When I heard you worked here, I assumed you were educated and respectable. But no, you're just a poor girl pretending to be something you're not." "Eleanor, let's move somewhere private and talk," I urged, desperate to end the public spectacle. "Oh, so you don't want your lies exposed here," she sneered. "Too bad. Everyone deserves to know what a fraud you are." At that moment, the entrance doors swung open, and in walked a man who looked strikingly like Ryan. "Mom's still at it, huh?" he said with a dry smile. "Michael? What are you doing here?" Eleanor asked, startled. "I work here, remember?" he replied coolly. Turning to me, he added, "You must be Sophia. I've heard a lot about you. Michael Klein, Ryan's brother. Also a client of this company." The revelation left Eleanor momentarily speechless, but she quickly regained her composure. "Michael, you should understand why I'm doing this. We have to protect our family's reputation." "Protect it from what, Mom?" Michael asked, his voice sharp. "Your obsession with appearances. Ryan and I have had our lives disrupted enough by your meddling." Just then, another familiar figure appeared, my mom, Linda, stepping out from the back office. "Linda, what are you doing here?" Eleanor asked, clearly thrown off. Linda smiled warmly and extended her hand. "Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Linda Smith, CEO of Orient Enterprises." She handed Eleanor a business card, watching as the color drained from her face. "Oh," Eleanor stammered. "I see you gave your daughter a job despite her lack of education." "Actually," Linda said firmly, "Sophia earned her position here. She graduated from the University of Toronto in Canada as a scholarship student." "The University of Toronto?" Michael echoed, raising an eyebrow at his mother. "Mom, did you mistake it for something else?" Eleanor opened her mouth but found no words. "Whether Sophia stays employed here depends on her performance, like everyone else," Linda continued, her tone sharp. "And so far, she's been excelling." Defeated and humiliated, Eleanor muttered something under her breath before leaving the building, escorted by her husband. From that day forward, Eleanor never interfered with our lives again. The ordeal, though painful, brought Ryan and me closer together. "Sophia," Ryan said one evening, holding my hand tightly, You have no idea how happy it makes me to spend forever with you." "Me too," I said, smiling through tears. "I'm confident we can face anything as long as we're together." And so our journey as a new family truly began, stronger and more united than ever.